What will Browns general manager John Dorsey do next? That's the question for a 2019 free agency period in which Cleveland will have almost $80 million in salary cap space to improve a roster that finished 7-8-1 last season and enters the year as, finally, one of the it teams in the NFL. That's because, for once, Cleveland is not chasing a franchise quarterback. With Baker Mayfield on board with first-year coach Freddie Kitchens, the Browns now might be a desirable destination for free agents. 2019 NFL free agents, ranking top players by position. Dorsey recently made headlines with the controversial decision to sign former Chiefs running back Kareem Hunt. Cleveland also recently resigned tackle Greg Robinson. The tone of aggressive roster building that was set last year appears to be continuing. Here are some of the Browns' biggest areas of need, and how the team might approach them in free agency. The good news for Cleveland is it's now more about adding depth and talent. Browns team needs defensive tackle, wide receiver, edge rusher, linebacker, cornerback, quarterback, defensive tackle. The Browns ranked 28th in the NFL in run defense last season and allowed 4.7 yards per carry. Fixing that is the first challenge for new defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. Depth on the interior defensive line is a need, and Grady Jarrett, who has 13 sacks over the last 3 seasons, is the top-ranked defensive tackle on the market. Ndamukong Suh, Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson are more big names Cleveland could target, but they would be expensive. Malcolm Brown, Rodney Gunter and Harry Anderson are more under-the-radar options. If Cleveland finds the right guy to pair with emerging star Larry Ogunjobi, and there is a good chance this position also gets addressed in the first round of the NFL draft, then that run defense should improve dramatically. Wide receiver. Cleveland had 4 wide receivers with more than 300 yards last season in Jarvis Landry, Antonio Callaway, Rashard Higgins and Breshad Perriman. Perriman decided to test the free agent market. There is room for a big-time receiver in there, and the popular name being thrown around in Cleveland is Odell Beckham Jr. However, would have to be acquired through a trade. Tyrell Williams, who averaged 16.3 yards per catch with the Chargers over the last 4 seasons, is a candidate to be a big play receiver for the Browns. Demaryius Thomas is another big name on the market, but he has failed to hit 1,000 yards in each of the last 2 seasons. Edge rusher. This is strong free agent class of edge rushers, and the Browns are in the market to pair somebody with Myles Garrett, who led the team with 13.5 sacks last season. Emmanuel Ogbah had just 3 sacks for Cleveland last season. Jadeveon Clowney and DeMarcus Lawrence are the top edge rushers on the market, and the Garrett-Clowney combo, 2 former No. 1 picks, would be incredible. But of the edge rushers available, Cleveland is more likely to go after Dee Ford, with whom Dorsey is familiar with from his days in Kansas City. Ford had a career-high 13 sacks last season. Brandon Graham and Shaq Barrett also would make sense. Veteran linebacker Clay Matthews' production slipped in Green Bay over the last 2 seasons, and he has bounced around from edge rusher to inside linebacker. Cleveland could probably get Matthews on a cheap, 1-year deal, prompting memories of his father, who was a fan favorite in Cleveland from 1978 to 93. Linebacker. Cleveland has a decent group of linebackers with Joe Schobert, Jamie Collins and Christian Kirksey, but Collins is an expensive player, and there are a couple enticing alternatives on the market. KJ Wright had 4 consecutive seasons with 100-plus tackles in Seattle before last season, when he played in just 5 games. Anthony Barr's production dropped with Minnesota in 2018, but he is a former first-round pick with talent who could benefit from a change of scenery. Denzel Perryman and C.J. Mosley also are among the top names available at the position. More, SN's latest 2019 NFL mock draft cornerback. Cleveland drafted Denzel Ward with the No. 4 pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, and he developed into a Pro Bowl player as a rookie. Ward, however, suffered 2 concussions during the season, and Cleveland had to replace him with a mix that included Terrence Mitchell, T.J. Kerryon E.J. Gaines. There's room for an upgrade at the position and insurance for Ward. Bryce Callahan and Kareem Jackson are viable options. Callahan is 3 years younger and had 2 interceptions each of the last 2 seasons with the Bears. Another intriguing possibility is Bradley Roby, a 2014 first-round pick who might be re-energized playing for a fan base that loves former Buckeyes. Quarterback. At least Cleveland's QB need is not about the starter this time. The Browns traded for Tyrod Taylor last season, but now he is a free agent, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring in another QB to compete with Drew Stanton, who turns 35 in May, for backup duties. The problem is free agents such as Josh McCown, Brock Osweiler, Robert Griffin III and Austin Davis have already been on the Browns roster at some point, and all 4 are associated with that infamous list of QBs who preceded Mayfield. Cleveland could opt to stick with Stanton for now and wait to pluck from the free agent pile going into training camp.